Hello, oh my God. Hello, everyone. I'm alive. It's been a while, but I've basically disappeared for like 5 months. And that's because I've been going through like a little bit of a quarter life crisis, more or less. There's been a lot of life transitions, including new jobs, moving, rebranding, a lot of going within, figuring it out, all of that fun stuff. To start, I took a break in the first place because I started a job at Saks Fifth Avenue on Palm Beach Island. And that's where we were at the time. And that was such an amazing experience. It was honestly crazy. I got to be a specialist for Tom Ford Beauty. So I was there at the Tom Ford counter, and again, that was just my job to know the in and outs of the brand and sell it. And it was really fun because I got to work with like a lot of cool people who were also beauty obsessed, but also very knowledgeable in sales. We got to utilize and learn a little bit about like social selling, which is basically just like social media marketing and being able to utilize Instagram to gain leads and clientele, which is super cool. I wanted to do that because I was looking for more stability in my life. And while it did give me a little bit of that, unfortunately, not long after being hired, we learned that that store was going to close. Or it was very likely that it would close, but not a lot of the details had been put out yet. So once more and more details came about, once it got closer to the end of the year, my husband and I were talking, and we were essentially like, look, our lease is about to expire. This store is about to shut down, which means I may be out of a job, maybe not, but I think this is a clear sign for us to move, because we had been talking about that and that kind of being a desire more or less for some time. So we did, and we are now in Orlando, which is very cool, being as we are very much Disney people. I was actually born and raised in Orlando, so it's kind of trippy, kind of cool being back. But Disney people, we love it. It's a newer, bigger city, a lot more going on. So there's just a lot to discover and uncover, you know? So I took a job selling solar, which I absolutely love the idea of solar. I like the idea of renewable energy. I like the idea of saving money on your electric because I absolutely have it out for these energy companies. I really do. So an amazing opportunity, especially to make a lot of money. You can very easily make 6 figures at selling solar. However, what wasn't exactly clear to me was that it's a good idea to have a reserve of money whenever you're doing a commissions only sort of job. Just when you're initially getting started. And that I really didn't have, because we were a little strapped for cash just from moving and getting to Orlando in the first place. And the person that hired me didn't really make that clear, that the first month or so is generally a little hard, especially just to kind of get yourself going and get the ball rolling. In fact, they even made it seem like, it would be pretty instant once you go through the training and you're out on the field, that you would just be making money. But my manager, I basically ended up resigning very quickly, simply because it had gone a month and I hadn't really made a sale. So they were very understanding, and the leadership team there is probably like the best that I have ever like seen in any company that I've been in. They're amazing, supportive, and understanding. And mind you, I'm the only woman that was in that branch. And yet, I don't know, I felt supported. I felt like it was such an amazing place to be in general. Like everybody is just looking out for one another and seeing how we could teach each other, help each other, and just pick someone up where they're down, you know? Um, but anyway, my branch manager, he was like very understanding of my reasonings for quitting, and not that I necessarily wanted to, or it was like a bad place. It was more so just like a timing issue, and just the fact that I just didn't have the infrastructure to keep it up, or the infrastructure to keep it up, or at least until rude. So my manager was very understanding of the fact that I just simply didn't have the infrastructure to hold out until things started to pick up for me. And even said that when he hires people or like interviews them and whatnot, he definitely likes to make it clear that it's a good idea to have a reserve of cash set aside until things pick up. And that's usually, he said, like about a month and a half. And I was just like, yeah, wasn't told to me. But nonetheless, amazing company. And it was like unfortunate that like I had to make that decision for myself. But, and now we have a different job. So far so good. And I'm basically selling furniture. It's an hourly job and it's very fun. Don't want to say where it is, but it's exciting nonetheless. So it's gonna provide me that stability that I need and I've been looking for, that unfortunately I think these other past two jobs just were not able to give me. But now that I'm able to get the stability back in my life that I've been looking for, I can basically just focus on myself and getting out of survival mode and getting more into happy and creative mode and feeling more like myself, and allowing me to, you know, even make these videos a lot more and just feel good doing it. Which brings up the point of the Painted Lady coaching. I think I'm also looking to rebrand that identity as well. I really had the intention of wanting to kind of like create a community of healing and talking about narcissistic abuse and bringing awareness to that, because it's something that I had gone through and it deeply has affected my life and the way I go through life even. And I see so much value in talking about that and talking about your experiences with that. I know a lot of us have seen the new Gabby Petito documentary, and it's stories like that as to why I think it's so important to talk about it. However, for me, I don't know if it's right for me, simply because it does feel very heavy to still talk about these things. And even though I have come a long way from it, I'm even still kind of noticing how it's affected me and how it still comes up in my life. And for example, like identity work, I still think that it's deeply affected my sense of identity, in that I don't exactly have an inner compass that I feel like is so necessary. And even though I've gained a lot of that back, I believe, like I've gained back a lot of my sense of self, like since leaving the abusive dynamics that I have been in with, you know, family and my past partner. Some of it is still there, and it affects how I go through life now. And it's very evident when I'm like struggling to really understand like what it is that I want to say, you know, do with my YouTube channel. But I think that's okay. And what I think I believe is the most important to do is to talk from a very authentic and real and raw place. And not that I wasn't before, but I think I just want to have a channel where I am showing like wherever I am at right now. And just take you on this journey with me as I'm figuring it all out, because I am. And I think that's okay. And I think we can all figure it out together. I will be talking a lot more about like books that have kind of helped me on this journey with growth, psychology, spirituality, and even finances. I also want to talk a lot more about my adventures in Orlando, whether that be Disney or just some very cool local places. I especially want to talk a lot about like the good food, the good coffee, all of the fun things you can do here that isn't park related as well. I also want to talk about like lifestyle and personal growth and just authentic creative expression and my journey with figuring all of that out. And like, it's not just about me, it's also just about sharing like what it is that I'm learning. Because again, like, I think growing together is what community is all about. And that's just what I want to build and cultivate for myself. And that's something that's kind of been very isolating about where I'm at now, is that I feel like I've shed a lot of old patterns and old dynamics from my life, and I felt like I've had not really much of anything to replace it with. I'm just like, I know I don't want this for me anymore, but what do I want? And to some degree, I know what that is, but I may not know necessarily where to find it. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the internet and things like YouTube, is that you can find your people and your community, but it also starts with just authentic expression and just being where you are and being honest about where you're trying to go. And I think the people will follow. And like I said, like, I'm honestly just still figuring it all out for myself. And if that's something that resonates with you and interests you, then I'd love for you to stick around. But I just want to document everything in a way that feels real, like I said, and without pretending to have all the answers, because I fucking don't. But I'm very excited to share all of the things that have excited me. I'm very excited to share my struggles and what is coming of it. And I'm also very excited to share my adventures. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me and Logan and all the cool things that we do. And till then, much love. I'll see you next time.